about expectations versus reality. Motherhood is going to go down the line about pregnancy, delivery, postpartum, just the real deal about mamas. Alright, I started this and I was inspired by it from having conversations with different mamas, family members, peers, and God put it on my heart, just to bring it to the public, just to hear other mamas' perspectives, for you guys to hear mamas' perspective about motherhood. Although we experience similar things, our experiences are also different based on circumstances, obstacles, our beliefs, all that. And so this segment, we're giving you transparency, rawness, sincerity, and we're going to be unapologetic about our stories, okay? So this is going to be a judgment-free zone. That's what I'm aiming for, We get to speak our own truth, be open-minded, speak in love, show understanding. Tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, if you don't know me, my name is Jaleesa Sharp. People call me Jay, Coach Jay, Lisa, or whatever. My family called me Smurf because I got big eyes. Since I was little, that was my nickname from my family. I am a mother. I am a wife. My husband is Cetha Sharp. I'm a mother of 3. As of August 25th, I had my son. And I graduated from Howard University. Dance art. BFA in dance art. I'm a professional dancer, hairstylist, and a fitness instructor. That's a little bit about me. For my first guest. And yeah. This is Maxine Sharp. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself as one of the mamas I wanted to start off with. She is also the co-producer of this segment. Hey. And this joint started together. Okay? So go ahead, mama.
So, as you said, my name is Maxine Sharp. I am Jaleesa's sister-in-law. Is definitely like a little sister more than anything. I have 3 kids, a 7, a 5, and a 3-year-old. Praise Jesus.
Yeah. Close together. This mama was close together, babies.
Yes, that was not the plan, in Jesus' name. But, God always got a different plan. A proud Ghanaian. Shout out to the Gold Coast. I'm a quintessential stay-at-home mom. I cook, I clean, and, my husband is a huge part of that as well, though he tries to do his part as much as he can, as much as I delegate to him, which is a whole other conversation another day. I'm currently in school. I own a clothing company. I make custom maternity and nursing outfits as well as inspirational t-shirts. So excited to be on here today.
Hey.
So amazing idea Jaleesa had, because I think that we can all benefit from having more honest conversations about motherhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop struggling by ourselves and thinking that it's the way it's supposed to be when it's not.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this segment. I hope people appreciate it. And if this is a trigger for you, that is okay. I understand. But I just hope it touches someone who needs it, of course. So let's go ahead and pray in. I'm gonna pray us in.
Okay.
Lord, I thank you for another day. I thank you for waking us up this morning. I thank you for just leading us on our way. Let this segment not be in vain, but do its due diligence to touch someone, reach someone that needs it. Let's not allow it to go left, but always stay on course. Lord, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to use this platform to reach others and to talk to my sisters, my sister friends, my mothers, whoever it is. And for today, having Maxine online with me, Lord, keep anything from letting this go well. Let us continue to speak in love and let it go your way. Let your will be done. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen. Let's get it. Maxine, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share that pregnancy
have a condition called endometriosis. It's only stage 2. There's different levels to it. Mine is not as bad, I would say. Just being grateful, it's not as bad as others may have it, but it kind of makes it a little hard to get pregnant. I had suffered 2 miscarriages in the past. I just didn't really think that it was going to happen anytime soon. I was ready for a life of fertility and IVF and whatever the case might be, whatever God might bring us. You know, we had already spoken about adoption being an option just in case, because I let him know up front, like, I might not be able to have kids, just so you know. But you know, God's timing is everything. And so we were able to get pregnant with our firstborn, Gabriel.
Let's rewind on that just a little bit. When you said you had miscarriages, what was your mind frame for that? Like, what state of mind were you in after experiencing that? And then how did it feel actually becoming pregnant, you know, after experiencing miscarriages?
So my first miscarriage, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I didn't know I was pregnant. So I was cramping and I was having issues, and then I was just bleeding. And then I kept bleeding for about 20, 30 days. And I finally went to the doctor, and they told me that, you know, I had already had a miscarriage because there were still some pregnancy hormones left, and that I needed to get a DNC, which is when they, you know, it suck everything out of you, essentially.
Yeah.
And so I was distraught, you know, first of all, to not even know I was pregnant. You know, I didn't even feel like I had the right to even be upset because I didn't even know I was pregnant. So it was like, do I get to even mourn this situation? The second time, I became aware very quickly. I found out I was pregnant, and then, you know, shortly thereafter, within a week or two, I wasn't pregnant anymore. And at that point, I started to question my body, like, okay, well, maybe this is just not for me. Maybe this is just not the blessing God has for me, you know? I already knew of my condition. It did not become a realistic issue until I had the miscarriages. I felt less of a woman, essentially. I was always, you know, a tomboy, and I wasn't built very curvy. And so the only thing I held on to was the fact that I was going to be a mom one day. Like, that was the ultimate thing to womanhood, you know?
So these 2 miscarriages happened before your firstborn?
Before my firstborn.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did end up having a miscarriage before my last born. So that was unfortunate. But by then, my husband was better equipped to help me deal with it. I lost so much weight. You know, I'm a small person to begin with, so I thought pregnancy was gonna give me hips and, you know,
a back. Man, whole new figure.
all that. You know, a little bit. It was cute. It was a little bit. You know, I might have stepped up a size, but for the most part, I was real scrawny, and that was not okay to me. You know, so we get through 6 months of morning sickness, in which nobody tells you that morning sickness happens all day long, not just the morning. Nobody tells you that it's
right.
You know,
right.
Nobody tells you it's long the first 6 weeks. Nobody tells you, you know, that it's not normal if you're still having morning sickness after the first 3 months. You might want to call your doctor about it. Remember that your pregnancy has nothing to do with anybody else's pregnancy. Like, you know, that was, I was living my pregnancy through my mother's and my aunts and my grandmother, thinking, oh, well, they did it and they got through it, and so I should too. Lies, right. All lies. Right. You know, so that was tough, just being sick all the time and not really realizing that this is what really happens. This is the reality of pregnancy. It's not going to be that great, you know. I think I finally broke down at 7 months and told my mom how terrible I thought pregnancy was, because nobody wants to hear that. You hear all these people talking about, oh, it's so beautiful and I'm so blessed. And because I had 2 miscarriages, I just felt like it was so ungrateful for me to feel like this was not a positive thing right now. And I finally had broken down and told my mom, and she was like, yeah, girl, pregnancy was terrible for me too. Like, I go through 18 hours of labor before my son's very large head ends up not progressing and evidently getting stuck. His heart rate drops. I wish that my doctor had given me a little more time to, you know, maybe figure out what was going on with him, but they immediately felt like it was necessary to give me an emergency C-section, which was not the plan. We wanted to have a water birth. That didn't happen because there was meconium in my water when it broke, and that is baby poop. So they were like, "No, you can't do that." I, you know, thought it was gonna be. I thought labor was gonna be like in the movies, just pain, no pain, pain, no pain. No, my labor was like menopause. I had hot flashes. My husband said I was delirious. He said I started taking out my IV, trying to leave the hospital. I don't remember any of that. I was literally in pain, right? And this is the kicker, though. Once again, the expectation is I can handle this pain. You know, I'm natural. I'm a woman. My mom and my aunts have done it. My aunts and my grandmother are sitting there in the hospital with me eating Danny's chicken with mambo sauce and French fries real good. And they like, "Girl, you're not going to get this epidural?" And I'm looking at them like, "Why would I get an epidural? Y'all didn't." "Oh, yeah, we did. We got that epidural." "No, we not even." I'm sorry, excuse me? Excuse me? Wait, what you say? They're like, "Yeah, we got that epidural, girl. Nobody doing this." Girl,
Yo, they lied.
I'll never forget. He was so excited about having a son. And as soon as the baby came out, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, go look at the baby, make sure he's good." He's like, "The doctor's got the baby. He good. I'm worried about you." And that for me meant so much, you know, because I just knew I wasn't going to matter anymore after the baby was born. So that was huge, you know.
Well, so after pregnancy and delivery, how did you feel? I know you said you used to be physically fit, you know, tomboy. That's me too, you know. How did you feel about changes in your body, especially afterwards? Like, did you believe in that popping back, in that pop back look, or you gradually just wanted to lose the weight, get back to your size, or what?
I was very fortunate. I think within a week, my uterus had, you know, gone down, and I had barely gained. I didn't gain a lot of weight during my pregnancy. So I was very lucky to have snatched back, essentially, my first.
Yeah, snatched back, yeah.
You know, I Tiana Taylor that first baby. That second baby, though. So yeah, second baby ripped apart my abs. So they're never going back again. They're never going to touch again.
Yeah, abs not touching ever again. Really?
Ever again. They'll come close, but they will not attach. So that's a real thing that nobody told me that. I didn't know that was a possibility. I lost weight because I breastfed, but I lost so much weight. I was literally skin and bones. You could see my breastbone clearly. You could see the first portion of my ribs. It wasn't like I wasn't eating. It wasn't like I wasn't taking care of myself. It wasn't like I was trying to be skinny, because I loved when I would gain weight. I love that moment right after you have a baby where you lose the baby weight and then all of a sudden you start gaining, you know, random weight that you just didn't expect, because obviously you're not pregnant anymore, but your body's trying to figure out its hormones and everything. So I love that part. I would be thick. I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm about to give me a size medium in these drawers." Like, yes. No, because down to an extra small. I was very scrawny. Nobody talks about what breastfeeding does to your chest. Nobody.
Exactly. The end results. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll talk to a mom that didn't breastfeed, or versus breastfeeding and not breastfeeding. If you still held on to your shape, if you didn't breastfeed or something, or they just go flat. You know, this is real. Like, nobody. They just told you it will get bigger, but they don't tell you at the end.
It's smaller. Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, speaking of being womanly, like the intimacy part. So how did pregnancy, birth, having kids affect intimacy in your life?
It's frustrating because your mind wants to be intimate, but your body does not want to participate. You know, And it's hard on your partner because you're telling them that you want to be intimate with them and that you desire them, but all the things that they are used to seeing from your body are not happening. So it's hard for them to believe it. Yeah, my husband has been super patient, and he has loved my body in whichever shape and form it has come in. So I really appreciated that. He just didn't care. As long as I had the parts to begin with, he's good.
What was your reality of help and the sense of community, the people being there, during the pregnancy and then not being there afterwards, or vice versa? What was
Yeah. Me and all my friends are, we're grown, and so everybody did what they could. They all have careers. Some of them are married. Everybody did as much as they could. I think I had a bigger expectation on family. My mother isn't here. She had moved to Ghana prior to me getting married and having kids, and so I'm more lost. Before I even started having kids, I just kept thinking my mother's not going to be here for me when I'm going through those things, and then for her to actually not be there, I think I, in my mind, had a bigger expectation of my mother-in-law and my my family as a whole. But that was not my expectation. I mean, that was my reality. My expectation was it was going to be beautiful and lovely, and I was going to have women, all my sister-in-laws, all my girlfriends, all my aunts, everybody coming, knocking on the door, helping me out. I think that was the hardest part.
Well, so I know you're a jack of all trades. How did pregnancy or having kids affect your career choice? What would you have done differently?
So I'm a photographer. I'm a professional photographer, and
told you. See, she ain't even mentioned that. I told you she's a jack of all trades.
So I'm a professional photographer. Maximum moment. I was lucky enough that my husband made enough money for me to be able to hone my craft and all that other jazz, and follow my dreams. Unfortunately, when you're staying home with kids, it's a lot harder to book shoots when you got a baby on your back. And we made that choice together for me to stay home because daycare costs too much. I had gotten my early childhood development certifications, took all the classes necessary so that my kids weren't just home chilling. They were actually learning, between ages 0 to 4 until they were in pre-K. But I just didn't have a career, and that was hard for me. Going from a woman having, 1, 2, 3 jobs, whatever, picking up and going when I felt like it, making a coin when I felt like it, to having to always depend on my husband's money, not being able to work for myself. There's something amazing about making and doing for yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, to be able to look at something and be like, I made that, I did that. It's an amazing thing. And to not be able to do that anymore was hard. It was real hard, It definitely changed everything. I ended up, once again, picking up another craft.
Well, to bring it in, tell me one thing or a few things, advice that you would give your children, both the boys and the girls, about pregnancy, having children, the whole 9 yards. What advice would you give them?
I would give all 3 of my children the advice of being considerate, and having empathy. My husband will never understand what it's like to breastfeed. He'll never understand what it's like to be pregnant or birth a child. But I think it's very important to have empathy for other people and whatever they're doing.
We are at the end of our conversation. We made it through. So we'll be doing this once a week. I might be hitting up a few people who's on this right now to hear your story. All right?
All right. You say bye?
Bye.
See See you later.
Bye.
Yes.
Oh, you're cute.
Oh.
All right.
Yes, thank you for coming in, joining us in our conversation. This was beautiful. Remember, mamas, keep doing y'all thing. Drink that water. Stay safe out there. Much love to all y'all. And y'all just have a beautiful week. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Real talk on motherhood, expectations versus reality. It's your girl, Jay. See y'all later.